Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Lyle, and this is my continuing coverage of the 2017 WNBA playoffs. And the first round was very exciting. You had the matchup between the Mystics and the Wings, and that one was a tale of two quarters. You have the first quarter, the Mystics come out right out of the gate. They're hitting shots early. They're playing good defense, forcing turnovers. They just have a huge lead. You think they're going to run away with this. The Wings in the second quarter come roaring back, tied up at halftime, and it was basically the same thing in the second half. Mystics break away in the third. Wings start making a late comeback, but this time they just weren't able to finish out. They end up losing that game. Crystal Thomas sets a new franchise playoff record with 17 rebounds. Lisa and Della Don have double-doubles. It got a little chippy towards the end there, especially between Ruffin Pratt and Powers. And then in another slightly less exciting matchup, you've got the Mercury versus the Storm. It was a tight contest most of the way. Good defense from both of these teams. They were relying mostly on the superstars, Brianna Stewart, Brittany Griner, both carrying their teams, had very similar numbers, but it came down to clutch three-pointers from Leilani Mitchell, Diana Taurasi, just hitting those big shots down the stretch, preventing Seattle from closing that deficit. And the Mercury, they win, and now the Mercury and Mystics are going on to round two. Round two continues to be single elimination, with both games being played Sunday afternoon. And the first matchup I'm going to talk about is between the Liberty and the Mystics. And the reason I'm talking about this one is just because, well, the Liberty have won 10 straight games heading into the playoffs. It's hard for me to root against them no matter who they're playing. Ever since Lambert took over, that defense has been solid. They have been consistently stingy. They've got an expanded offense this year. Tina finally has some help. Personally, when I look at the playoffs right now, the only three teams that I think have a legitimate shot, of all the 8 that made it into the playoffs, I think the championship is going to come down to New York, Minnesota, or LA. I don't really think any of these others have a good chance. I'm still going to watch their games because you never know, but I feel like it's going to be one of those top 3 seeds. And then you look at Connecticut versus Phoenix, and with Phoenix, the Mercury, I said this before, it's hard to predict with them. On paper, Connecticut looks like a stronger team, but the Mercury, they've got a lot of been there, done that veterans who know how to turn it on in the clutch moments. You've got Diana Taurasi, who's probably the most fierce competitor in the league right now. And, the Sun, I think, like I said, on paper they look better. Jonquel Jones looks like she should be able to match up well with Griner. And you've got Alyssa Thomas, who I think is going to be a tremendous X factor. She's got an incredible all-around game. Now, she can score 20 points. She can get you 8 assists. She can get you 8 steals. She can block and rebound. Phoenix doesn't have anyone that can match the ability and skill set of that Alyssa Thomas, and I think she's probably going to be the biggest X factor in this game. I mean, like I said, on paper, Connecticut easily looks like the better team, but it's hard for me to root against the Mercury because, you cannot undervalue experience. You've got a couple of champions in Griner and Taurasi. Champions, competitors. Taurasi already the all-time leading scorer. Griner the leading scorer for the season. And she's also probably going to retire as the league leader in blocks. She looks like she's going to be the first person to get to 1,000. I don't actually like making predictions. The Sun, yes, they look like a better team, but in this matchup, just because it's the playoffs, I feel more confident in saying that the Mercury have a better shot here. Because it's Diana Taurasi in the playoffs. She's got 3 rings, damn it. They don't just give those away to anybody. If New York wins, they will play LA, and the winner of the Sun-Mercury game will play Minnesota. If the Washington Mystics somehow pull a fantastic upset, they will play the Minnesota Lynx, and the winner of the Mercury Sun game will play the LA Sparks. So until I see you again on Monday, this has been the Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Lyle. Hope you have a great week.